Hey guys, Rise here, bringing you another Starcraft 2 beta commentary. Going to be doing LzGaMeR versus iNcontroL here, and very excited about this game. Oddly enough, right before this game started, I sneezed 12 times in a row. That's right, 12 times, and it was like, I know it's that because I had Audacity running in the background recording while I sneezed. So I went back and I counted it, and I could actually see they all look exactly the same when you sneeze, the little like audio lines. And versus like when I blew my nose, which is completely different looking. And then I was able to see how often I sneeze. So I sneezed 12 times in 2.5 minutes, and I average 1 nose blow per 4 sneezes. So good information for you guys to know watching this commentary, I'm sure, in case I start sneezing frantically once again. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But anyway, let's get on to the match. We got iNcontroL, Protoss player here in the bottom middle versus LzGaMeR under Team EG's tag, the Terran player at the, well, not quite 9 o'clock position. This would be 9 o'clock, I'd say, so maybe 8:30. And let's see. So before I started off, I wanted to do something I haven't really done in a long time, and I wanted to give a couple of shout-outs. First, I want to give a shout out to sc2gg.com. I can't even remember the last time I mentioned them in my commentary, and you know, they're the ones who pretty much got me started in this. So, you know, if you feel like it, go ahead and check them out. Just pretty easy to remember the name, sc2gg.com. Pretty simple. So, also to Team Liquid, since I've been hanging out there a lot on the forums, gotta give them a shout out. Team EG for giving me all these killer replays of top level play in the Platinum divisions in 1 vs 1, and to everybody who's been sending me messages. That's awesome. You know, I definitely appreciate getting you know, encouragement. That's actually what I get out of doing commentaries the most. You know, people who enjoy it. It's really nice to hear about it. So thanks for everybody who's been sending me PMs and messages and leaving comments and stuff. Keep doing it. I'd like to see them. But all right, let's get back to the commentary. It wasn't too painful, right? I didn't ask for anything too crazy or give any too crazy shout-outs. Actually, one more shout-out. Manifesto. He sent me a message on how you open a chat box or to open a chat box to cover this. Unfortunately, this game, Starcraft 2, got patched right before I did this game. So that means I have to view it while offline, and I don't think I can. I don't think I can open chat boxes while offline. So unfortunately for this game, it's going to get spoiled one more time. But as I get replays where I can actually watch them online, I'll be sure to open a chat box and cover it up so it's anti-spoiler. Maybe this time I'll actually put the stupid little thing on YouTube to block it out. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if I'm that you know, I don't know if I have that much energy to make a little box on YouTube. So, all right, I was watching LzGaMeR last night. I think he hit #1 in his Platinum division last night. He was #2 when I went to bed, down about 20 points from #1. So, certainly very possible that he's now #1 at his division. iNcontroL, if not #1, top 5 for sure in his Platinum division. Again, he shares the Platinum division with Louder. This time I'm not going to call him Louder, I promise. Sorry about that, iNcontroL. You are awesome, and coincidentally not Louder. So it looks like iNcontroL starting off with a Stalker, which honestly, good idea. If you usually when you're Protoss against a Terran and they got the Scout in there, you want to either go a Stalker or a Sentry, because you gotta kill that stupid Scout that'll be in your base forever if you have a Zealot, because it can just keep running away from the Zealot. Looks like LzGaMeR calling down his second mule. That means this one's about to break down. There it goes. It looks like it turned into an SCV. And he's got a tech lab as well as a reactor core. So basically it means that he's going mass Marines out of this one and probably Marauders fully out of this one, and later on a Ghost. It's unlikely you'll actually see Reapers from a barracks with a tech lab unless they're planning on going like a Reaper rush, and at that point you'll actually probably see 2 tech labs anyway. But the thing is, like, against regular units, yeah, they're okay and they're pretty cheap, but they go down, they get taken out so quick, it's just not worth having them, you know? So basically, you know, you're much better off just making Marauders, which are going to be better against things like Stalkers. They slow down both Stalkers and Zealots, so, you know, certainly they're effective against both, and then you can easily micro away from the Zealots. Looks like iNcontroL has opted to go for the robotics facility route of tech, as well as a robotics bay, which you know what that means. Colossus, I love them. So Colossus still my favorite unit in the game. I was playing against a guy last night, and I couldn't help it. I'm like, should I go Immortal or Colossus? And I'm like, is that really even a question? I'm going Colossus, and it was a good decision because Immortal good, but it wasn't good against the unit composition that I went up against. So it looks like we got a little bit of a proxy potential over here. Now it serves two purposes. One is to scout for what's going on right here. Alternatively, it would allow them to warp in units. Oh, of course, that's not going to be the case this time, unfortunately, but not a big deal. You know what I haven't seen that I just thought would be a great effing idea? If he got a warp prism and put a pylon up here, or I guess he could just use a warp prism and he could just warp in units along this ridge, kind of like a drop, but not really, because I mean, well, I guess it is. I don't know. I think it's a good idea. So it looks like iNcontroL is going to go for the high yield, which means he's got to take out the rubble, the destructible rocks over here, which takes forever. I mean, it's 2,000, but it's like heavily armored, so it just takes like an hour and a half to take down. Unless you got Immortals. Immortals do their bonus damage against those armored rocks, believe it or not. So that's kind of cool. Colossus, look at this. Look at the rally point. All the way over to here. But his units are over here, so I'm guessing he's going to destroy that, run him over there, and he may be preparing for a front door attack after he gets more than one of these. It's kind of weird, though, because, you know, it seems risky that you would rally so far over, but there's a good chance, you know, LzGaMeR right now, a lot of times his style is kind of expand, turtle up a little bit. You can see he got the Planetary Fortress upgrade at his expo, which is awesome. And, you know, he tends to turtle back a little bit early game, maybe for the first 10 minutes or so. So iNcontroL obviously knows this at this point. They're on the same team. They play a lot of games together. So iNcontrol's trying to take advantage of this, kind of like Starcraft 1 almost. Back at Starcraft 1, it was often where you would see players double expanding against a Terran player. And oh, look at this. Just going to walk right in with the Colossus. He's going to waltz in the front door. You can see LzGaMER's got a whole bunch of units going in, and he's going to take out this Colossus so quickly. This is a bad idea. Colossus is not going to be able to run away because the Marauders are just going to slow it down. Oh, man, I don't know if he got any kills there other than maybe an SCV or two. That was definitely not worth it. That was a big, big loss early on. Really, what I like to do... well, I shouldn't say what I like to do so much, but what I see a lot of top-tier players, because they have more authority than I have, basically, on gameplay and strategies, so I'll use them, because I know they do this often, too. They'll get more than one Colossus. Certainly, you can do damage with one, but that's when you want meat shields in front of you. With two, that's when you can start harassing the mineral line, although this is not particularly a good map, because if you look for harassing the mineral line anyway, because you have to go in from all the way, look at this, the right side of the base, like the farthest point from the mineral line. And that means, oh, by the way, we got Ghost coming out. So that means he's got to walk past all these buildings, and Colossus aren't that fast. He can literally get all these probes or SCVs around and down to here before the Colossus could even get there, even if there were two of them. So really, this isn't a good map, in my opinion, for a Colossus-based economy harass. You know, if you did something like a Warp Prism, Warp Prism and Storm Drop or something like that, a lot more effective, because you can just go back here and nobody would ever be none the wiser until you dropped your units. Alternatively, you could warp in units back here, which would be just as effective, especially if you did something like DTs, which is a sneaky effing thing to do, alright? Don't do that. You'd be a sneaky bastard if you do that. And that is something I'd like to see in terms of harassing the mineral line, not with Colossus. We did see Az do it against Hydra in our first game commentated for StarCraft 2. But again, the map lended itself to that sort of play because of the back entrance that you had through cliffs. So anyway, it looks like iNcontroL, definitely in control of the map right now. I didn't even mean to do that, guys. Seriously, that's kind of that's one of the problems with his name is you use iNcontroL a lot in terms of like StarCraft term. Oh, look at that! The Thermal Lance upgrade. Look at that ridiculous range of 9. Let's compare that to the Marauders, which have a range of 6. Now, that's a big difference. I don't know. I think it's one of these. I think range is actually like not quite, or maybe it is one of these pylon hexagons, or maybe not quite a pylon. Maybe it's a half a hex or something like that. So Yeah, because if we looked at this, his range is probably like here. So 1, 2, 3. If that was double, I don't know. I'm making that up. I mean, that was just a random thought I had. So it's very unlikely, actually. It's possible, I guess. But anyway, 9 is a huge range. It's like the longest range of any ground unit, anyway, that's in the game, other than